towards the basket and misses one.
Hello once again, and welcome to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock, and today we're going to be talking about cross country. Later on in today's show, we'll be talking with head coach Brett Crowley about this season, but joining me first, Adam Klipstein, to talk a little bit about life off the course as well as life on the course. Adam, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Caleb.
Well, let's just start off by talking about this fall season for you guys. You're the lone senior on the team this year, so I assume you've got to have that leadership role this year.
Yes, I am the only senior. And I'd try to do my best to be a leader for the team. We're a very young team.
Sure.
So in my role, I kind of have to help some of my younger teammates. Mm-hmm. But we have a really talented freshman group. We have Alec Hicks, who's coming to the program with a really good 5K time. Mm-hmm. And we also have two national qualifiers in Blake Brooks and Salvador Campos.
Sure, yes.
And we have Cole, who has been leading us in the first couple races.
Okay.
So we have a really, really talented team. And I'm just a senior who tries to work hard. And so I just give some pointers on how to get better and how we can help each other improve.
Sure. Well, just tell us a little bit about how the season's going so far.
Well, in our first race, we raced against Earlham College, and so it was only one other team. Mm-hmm. And it was a really competitive race. We only lost by a few points.
Okay.
But it went really well. Cole led us in that race, and I think he ran in the 16s, so okay. He did really good for us, and I think he finished third place overall. I think I finished second on the team in that race, and it was a good race for everyone, but we were looking to improve from that race. Uh-huh. And then we just had the Indiana Intercollegiates race, and before that we were at Hanover. And but in both of those races we were kind of dealing with some nasty conditions. At Hanover, the weather was it was really bad. It was raining and muddy, so the times weren't that fast. And that meet, we also only raced against one other team, which
okay.
was Hanover. So then the next race that I talked about was the Indiana Intercollegiates. Mm-hmm. And the times were slow because it was a really hot day, but I believe we had our best finish ever in the Intercollegiates, which was 10th place.
Okay.
And that might not sound that great, but there's some really good competition there, and
sure.
I think we held up pretty well.
All right, so seeing improvement then.
Yes,
okay.
We are improving on a weekly basis.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about you now. We've already mentioned you're the lone senior on the team. So while you're here at IU East, you're majoring in elementary education, but also minoring in special education. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I'm majoring in elementary education, like you said, and that's been going really well. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy working with the kids that I'm with, and I'm placing a field placement 3 days a week this semester. So it's a pretty demanding schedule, sure. But I really like working with the children, and I talk to them about running cross country and track for the school, and I think that's pretty cool. And they usually want to go out and race me at recess.
Okay.
So, but if I would like to in the future get a job as an educator, of course, probably somewhere in between 3rd and 6th grade.
Okay.
But also, if I would have the opportunity to be a coach somewhere for cross country or track, I think that would be a really great experience, and I would enjoy doing that as well.
Sure. So you already kind of covered the bases on what I was going to ask you as far as what you wanted to do with it, but you said you've got those 3 days a week that you're out working with kids this year. How's that going for you?
It's been going great. I'm in a 4th grade classroom, and they're in bunch.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, it's been good, and I've been trying to grow as an educator, and I think this is something I want to keep doing.
And what inspired you to want to go into teaching?
Well, that's kind of a long story. So when I first came to IU East, I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I tried business for a while, and I just wasn't really having any fun with it. I wasn't really enjoying myself in the business area. And I was looking at the majors IU East offered, and I thought, I like working with kids. Maybe education might be the way I should go. So I filled out all the education classes, and I think my sophomore year I decided to get into the education program. And from there, I've just had a really good experience. It's been a lot of fun. It's been challenging as they assign it's a heavy workload, but it pays off when you can see a light bulb go off in one of the children's heads.
So now, will you graduate in December or May then?
I'll graduate in the spring.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else you want to add today, either about cross country or your schoolwork here at IU East?
I don't think so. I think we pretty much covered everything.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks for your time today. There
Thank
you
you.
have it from Adam Klipstein talking about life on the course for cross country, as well as what he's doing in the classroom and even outside of the classroom as he gets his chance to be an educator here at IU East. We'll take a break and be back with more Inside IU East Sports right after the break.
Life can sometimes be chaotic. And with small children, it can be difficult to get to the doctor.
Hi, Mrs. Towns. How are you doing?
I have a sick little boy right here. I think he might have an ear infection.
With Read Health Now virtual visits, you don't even need to leave your home.
I'll send in a prescription for him.
Quick, easy, convenient.
I didn't want to take the kids out today.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Read Health, right beside you, right now.
What if a home phone could also be a smartphone? And what if that home phone could save you money on your home and wireless bill at the same time? With Xfinity Voice, you get amazing technology like readable voicemail on your smartphone, caller ID on your TV, and even text messaging, all for a low price. Start saving with unlimited nationwide talk and text and switch to Xfinity Voice for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
I'm almost done.
Now you can pay your bill, manage your appointments, and check your connection status. Anytime, anywhere.
Oh, so you're protesting? Okay.
Introducing Xfinity My Account, available on any device.
And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. I recently had a chance to sit down and talk with cross-country head coach Brett Crowley about his fall cross-country season, and here's our conversation. It's time to talk about cross-country, and joining me to do so is head coach Brett Crowley. Coach, thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome, Caleb. Thank you.
Well, just tell us a little bit about the upcoming season.
Well, I'm excited. This is Team 6.0 for me in my 6th year, and I have a lot of new faces. We also have a lot of returner students. So our roster is uniquely balanced to the point where I think we should see some improvement out of both groups. I'm excited, and so far preseason's well underway, and no one's hurt at this juncture in time, and I feel really good about what we can be.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about your rosters. We'll start with the women's team. Just tell us a little bit about Haley Day.
Haley Day. Haley is our lone upperclassman, junior this year from Brookville, walked on, has improved a great deal, especially with her overall fitness. Unique to our team, she represents us and is in the Army Reserves, so gets extra training from there for us. But should see some drastic improvement, especially she did in the spring half marathon in Cincinnati under 2 hours. I have a feeling you'll see her drop, hopefully down into the 22s, 21 minutes for the 5K for the women this coming year.
All right, how about Sarah Hornick?
Sarah Hornick is a junior in classification, but sophomore competitively. Joined us last year after having been in the University of Dayton. As a nursing student, extremely strong academically, but also has excelled in track. Currently is our women's 400 school record holder. And also did very well in track and the women's 4x8 in the spring. Was a little nicked up coming into cross country last year, but spent this summer and has improved drastically. Did a lot of CrossFit activities, extremely strong. Did very well in our recent mile time trial, and actually ran a summer race on pavement in under 22 minutes, which she had not done in a while. So I too anticipate that she'll be closer to the 21-minute range as the season goes on. I anticipate that Sarah will be one of our most improved runners.
And then how about Ashley Toshlag?
Well, Ashley statistically is our strongest runner at the moment. From Centerville as a sophomore this year. She has the endurance of a dolphin. Loves running from that standpoint. I anticipate, especially having finished second at the firecracker race this summer, to Jenna Barker, one of the stronger high school students in the area, and only by a few seconds from that standpoint. Ashley specifically is set and ready to go for a fine year. She had an excellent spring in track, especially in the 10K, setting a school record, and that set her up, I think, for an excellent fall. She's had a great summer. Is extremely fit. She and Sarah have been CrossFit buddies, and that has really paid off.
Oh, I bet. How about Kate Albertson?
Kate will be a returning sophomore. The Bedford connection is in Bedford, North Lawrence, has done well for us, as I talked about her and another teammate in a moment. Kate is our current school record holder in the 800. Had a solid cross-country season last year, averaged around 23, 22 minutes. Similar circumstance, stayed here all summer, found part-time work and trained with Ashley and Sarah, and also trained quite a bit on her own. She has a quick twitch burst and is more track-oriented, but from a cross-country standpoint, could really help us across the board as far as distance running goes. And I, too, anticipate that she'll be closer to the 22, 21-minute range on the 5K this coming fall.
Then how about Erica Beal?
Erica is the oldest of two sisters that will be on our team. A big sister hailing from Aurora, Indiana, South Dearborn. Erica was one of our strongest runners in cross country last year. Was in the top 20, finishing in the conference at West Virginia. Is a good hill runner across the board. She was probably only 2 or 3 minutes last year from getting an individual berth to go to the Nationals. So extremely tough. Had a great spring track season. Did the steeplechase for us. Got hurt during it and still set a school record. Extremely mentally tough kid across the board, and and also helped us in the relays and track. But for cross country, I think she'll be one of our top 4 early on this coming fall.
All right, then how about Brooke Pereira?
Brooke is a unique student, freshman this year from Greenville. She may be the tallest athlete in of our women's team that I've had in the 6 years, and she will make note of that. She will tell everybody that she told everybody in our preseason meeting that her nickname was Baby Giraffe or Baby G. So she uses her long legs to her advantage in early training and even in our summer race. On our course, which is very difficult, she was able, without really training a whole lot, doing a whole lot of speed endurance work, initially to finish the 5K in about 23 minutes. So she's had some impressive time trials so far in the last week for us, and I'm expecting big things from Brooke. I think she expects big things too.
Sure. All right, then how about Skylar Marker?
Skylar is another freshman this year. We rated Ohio for our freshman class on the women's side. She hails from Ansonia, grew up very close to Adam Klipstein. They ran together in a couple of races this summer. As part of our Ohio connection, Skylar's been a 21-minute runner before, but had some injuries last year and probably didn't went unnoticed locally amongst all the other colleges in Ohio and Indiana. And she contacted me through the internet and so forth. And we signed Skylar in late April. I think there's a lot of upside from there. She has a lot of potential. Hopefully, getting over this injury scenario. She's had some good practices, unique to our situation. Our family are pig farmers, so she's been in and out of practice a little bit and has worked pretty hard, but spent more time at the Ohio State Fair showing off pigs right now. And we hope to have her back and fully active here very soon.
All right, and last but not least on the women's team, Shelby Beal.
Shelby is the last of our freshmen to join us. Again, the younger sister of Erica. Is more of a track-oriented student hurdler. Could set a school record, I think, in the 400-meter hurdle event down the road. But cross-country-wise, is a developing athlete. She reminds me a lot of my senior last year, Teresa Hilsman, who came to us, was a 26-minute runner and very nervous, but worked at it over a 4-year time and got to be a 21-minute runner and helped our team improve its team as well as their individual standings. So Shelby's come along so far in preseason, and we're getting used to the heat, I think, of Indiana and this part of East Central Indiana. She struggled some in our afternoon runs, but has really come on so far, and I think eventually will contribute well for us.
All right, let's move on and talk about the men's team. How about Adam Klipstein?
Well, Adam is our old man. He's a senior this year, and while Adam may be the smallest of the Red Wolves, he has the biggest heart of any of our team. He's been a pleasure to coach, and he has had an excellent summer. Finally injury-free. He has some nagging things here and there. He trained extremely hard and did a lot of strength training over the summer. He had an excellent track season as well in the spring, almost eclipsing his 800 mark, under 2 minutes. But for cross country, he was second in our summer fun run for the Wolves, and has been our leader basically in every time trial so far that we've had at this point in time. And running extremely fast, even in our longer training runs. He's been pushing the envelope, and he didn't make it to nationals last year, and of course he was all conference in his freshman year, and was just a little shy of making that accomplishment a year ago, and he's extremely motivated to get back there and to help our team get to nationals.
All right, then how about Blake Brooks?
Blake was a national qualifier a year ago. For those who don't know old school NBA, I always compare him to James Worthy, and people look at me like, well, what do you mean? Blake's kind of a guy that preseason stuff kind of just moses along a little bit. He's had some nagging injuries here in the preseason too, but late last year he really came on for us in the latter part of our season and did well at the conference meet. Even ran a personal best 5K time at nationals. So he had a very solid and consistent spring for us. But he's kind of a late bloomer. The early season is kind of a little bit slow for him, but I look for big things for Blake in his junior year.
How about Cole Dudley?
Cole's another junior. He and Adam are very close to each other, personally good friends, but being from Ohio, Cole too has something to prove. He missed going to the Nationals by probably a mere minute or so, but made all conference. And he too has something to prove and has really worked extremely hard in the off season. He's been lifting weights. He and Adam have been 1-2 in our training runs to date. Last year he finally broke in track. The 17-minute barrier was under that. And I anticipate that he will run the 8K very well this coming fall.
Okay. Next up, Salvador, better known as Chava Campos.
He'll appreciate you mentioning his nickname. Chava is another returning national qualifier for us from Northern Indiana, Ligonier, West Noble High School. He is as steady as they come. Chava has a great work ethic. Spent most of his time, he teased me about the strength training this summer. He says, Coach, I'm going to be building school buses, so I don't think I should have to go lift weights after my run. I said, we'll find a happy medium somewhere in there. He's worked extremely hard, too, in the off season and has come back ready to go, and I think hasn't rested on his laurels. Knows that he's accomplished quite a bit in his freshman year, but at the same juncture in time is very hungry to improve.
All right, then how about Ben Willie?
Ben's unique. We redshirted Ben last fall from a cross-country standpoint, but due to NAIA regulations and his academic progress, he was able to run in track and did very well in track in the spring, which is more his cup of tea. But he has become a very excellent distance runner. Early on in our training runs, it's been Adam, Cole, and Ben quite a bit. And those three running close to each other, if not at times side by side. So Ben has a lot of talent from your neck of the woods, nice town.
Yep.
And from that aspect, I look forward to big things from Ben this coming year.
And next up, tell us a little bit about Alec Hicks.
Alec is one of our four of our freshmen on the men's side. Again, the Hagerstown connection has always helped us, and Hagerstown has always been good to me. Their coach has an excellent program, and Alec has been certainly a byproduct of that. Adam actually has won our summer race before in under 17 minutes on our course, which is extremely hilly, and has actually excelled in track as well in the 800, and has been part of the Hagerstown High School men's 4x8 semi-state cross-country teams, as well as regional finalists in that particular event in track. So he has great pedigree, super work ethic, really good kid. He will fit in very well with our group from there.
How about Trey Pemberton?
The Bedford connection again. I alluded to Kate. Trey is somebody we've gotten to know over the last 2 years. His times may not be as impressive because of where he runs in his sectional and regional, and Brown County and Bedford are all up in the hills. When he looked at our course, he said, well, this is a little flatter. Thank God for that. I said, well, not by much. Along those lines, Trey finished in the top 5 this year at our summer race, never having run our course before. And he's had consistent time. He was a regional qualifier in track and cross-country and track in the mile. So I look forward to seeing Trey develop, and I think he'll help us a great deal.
All right, then how about Justin Ray?
Justin Ray will be kind of a quiet guy in our first from Indianapolis in some time. He hails from Indianapolis Southport High School, who has an excellent tradition in cross-country and track. He was a member of a state semi-state team. Did extremely well in the regionals. At one time, they didn't think we were going to recruit him because their team came here and he didn't post at his best time. And I had to tell him, I said, I'm very impressed so far with you across the board, academically, and the leadership stuff from there was all present. And long story short, I feel that Justin will, again, round out our squad along with Logan from there as well.
All right, and tell us a little bit about Logan.
Local product from Richmond. Initially, he inquired about joining us, and I told him specifically in the fall in cross country he liked track more and we wanted to see him improve a little bit, and I think motivation there really kind of set in. He had an excellent track season in his last year for Richmond High School. He was able to knock his 2-mile time down closer to 10 minutes. His mile time down into the 4:30s and nearly 4:25 at one point in time. He didn't have as strong a cross-country season, but I think he'll be an excellent distant runner, and he certainly will do more than round out our roster. He will contribute, and once he gets used to the college-level 8K races.
Right. All right, can you give us just a brief outlook on what the season's going to look like this fall?
Well, great expectations, I think, will be my theme. When the preseason polls come out, I'm sure our colleagues in the conference will rank our women probably middle of the pack, and I told our women, is that acceptable? And they all told me no. So I told them that's not acceptable to me either. We want to move the needle forward. I think on the women's side of things, where we don't have that much depth, we will make up in talent and work ethic. Ashley Toshlag, I do anticipate we'll have at least, especially if we have 12 teams and the conference all run five runners on each team. There will be extra individual qualifiers and at least two team representatives go to nationals. And I don't see why we can't be one of the two. I think at least we'll have maybe 2 or 3 individual qualifiers for sure on that side. I think we'll, again, move the needle forward from where we were a year ago on the women's side.
All right, well, definitely looking forward to it.
Well, we might be short on time. The men, I'm just going to say up front, I think they have a chance to win the conference championship. And I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Looks like it's going to be an exciting fall for you guys.
I think so. I really do.
All right. Well, thanks for your time today.
Thank you, sir.
Well, there you have it from Brett Crowley, the head cross-country coach here at IU East, talking about both the men's and women's teams and the outlook on their season. And that concludes this episode of Inside IU East Sports. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.